What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a long time since we've had a video, but I'm going to try and start putting these out a little more than what we have been. Right here, what I have here is a 2008 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab Dually. It's an LTZ four-wheel drive. As you can see from me, I'm 6 foot tall. This truck's got some lift on it. It was bought from the Waco, Texas Copart, and it was listed as front and rear end damage, and it was listed as a non-run and drive. So before this truck sold, I did my research to try and locate the story on this truck, because I could tell that it had a lift on it. I thought it might be some kind of a special truck. I did my research, and there's one thing that showed up in those photos on Copart that got my attention. One, on the left rear back glass is a social media address of social media from the previous owner that owned this truck. So I did a Google search on that social media address, and immediately I popped up this truck, and immediately I found out that this truck is very, very special. This truck was originally built by Showtime Metal Works in Texas. It was a SEMA truck, and it is a former winner of the best dually at Texas Heat Wave in Texas, of course. Also a winner of many car shows and truck show events all over the United States. Also, I want to show you, and this is what the truck looked like, is previously it was a cover truck on Diesel World magazine. In the April 2015 issue, this truck was featured in Diesel World magazine. Like I said, a lot of money went into building this truck. If you figure on buying this truck and doing everything that's done to this truck, it would cost you $125,000 to do it. That's just the typical rate of a SEMA truck today, you know, as far as that goes. But anyway, I bought it, had most of the stuff on it. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff missing, and that is the reason why I was able to buy this truck for $12,500. Like I said before, it was a non-runner, and the damage was listed as front end and rear end. The insurance company, Allstate, allowed the previous owner to keep the headlights, the custom grille that was made by Showtime Metal Works. Of course, it had a Showtime Metal Works front bumper with light bars and such as that in it. It had a Showtime Metal Works rear bumper on it, and custom painted to match tail lights to go with the headlights. And the final thing that it had American Force 24-inch scope wheels. Those are the ones on this photo here that appeared in the Diesel World magazine. Those were retained by the previous owner. So this is going to be a very tough build for me, not because of the damage, because it's had a blowout on the right rear. That's what totaled the truck out, believe it or not, was a blowout on the right rear of this truck. And I'll show it to you here in just a little bit. What happened during that time was the blowout caused, I guess when the tire was letting go, it caught the traction bar on the right rear here of this truck, and it broke the traction bar, and that was a Rise Industries traction bar. Now you think, well, you could get another traction bar and stick on it, you know. They have to put it back to pre-accident condition, and Rise Industries is no longer in business, and they could not come up with the parts to be able to put this truck back like it was before the accident. So they had to total it, and they did. They totaled the truck out, wrote a check, gave it to the guy. The guy keeps the parts on it. I've tried to get in touch with him, and I've been unsuccessful in trying to find out if he still had any of the parts. He does not. My goal is to build this truck to where it looks just like it did on the cover of Diesel World magazine in April of 2015. That is my goal. I've already taken the rear traction bars off. I have sent them to a fabrication shop in Tulsa, where they are building me a set exactly like them so I can put them on here and the truck will look just like it did beforehand. I've got to buy the American Force scope wheels, and then of course I've got to get the headlights and put the grill together. Anybody that knows, I need the front bumper and the rear bumper from Showtime Metal Works. I have been in touch with Showtime Metal Works, and they no longer make this bumper for this truck. They strictly make, everything that they make is 2017 and newer, and they're concentrating on the Ford Super Duties. So unfortunately, they no longer make the front bumper and the rear bumper for this truck. So I've got to find it used, or maybe somebody that's got some old stock that they never sold it, or such as that. But I am looking for those bumpers, and I will eventually put them on. Right now, I've actually bought a front factory bumper to stick on it, and I've got the factory grill to put in it. I'm going to put it back that way and drive it. I'm going to enjoy it and such as that, but always looking for these bumpers, and I'm going to put it back as close and hopefully the same as I can with this right here. Now, let's do a walk around, and I will show you this truck. We'll do some editing on this, so let me see. Okay, like I said, it's a 2008 Chevrolet Silverado Crew Cab Dually. One thing that I noticed whenever I was looking at this truck, I said, well, you know, I know for sure that these coolers up front are not factory, you know, and it's got a big, huge oil cooler on it to keep this Duramax diesel cool, you know, and that was the first thing. Of course, the Rise Industries lift underneath it just screams, you know, quality and this and that. You go over here, you know, you look and you see the Fox 2.0 remote reservoir shocks, the Rise lift, the tubular upper control arm. I mean, it's really pretty impressive, you know, if you look at it. Let me see it. And but anyway, we'll go back here. It actually has a amp research, their running boards. If you pull this down, then the running board actually comes out to allow you to step in a little easier. And then, of course, once you shut it, it will recess back in there like it's supposed to. Once again, I am looking for American Force scope wheels in a 24-inch for a dually. And right here, here's your custom tail light that was in it. And you can see that it's been painted and such as that. The passenger side one blew out. I've actually got that exact tail light already here. I just need to have it custom painted and put in this truck. But here is your damage on it right here. That tire blew and it wasted this bedside. You know, it just killed the bedside on it. It is destroyed. I actually found a bed, a complete bed, silver in color, a little lighter color than this one, and I gave $500 for that bed. It had a bad bedside on the left side, and on these trucks, this bedside actually bolts on. So I've already taken the bedside off of the bed that I bought, and we're going to put it in the body shop, and we're fixing to paint it and get it ready to put on this truck. You know, I want to get this thing back on the road as quick as I can, and then work on putting it back like it was before the accident, as far as with the Showtime Metal Works bumpers and the front grille and the headlights and all that stuff. Another thing to mention too that it has here is it has train horns. It has train horns. Klein air horns is who put these on, and this was part of the what Showtime Metal Works did with this truck, and with their conversion. A lot of stuff that you don't see that I found out really from the article that was in Diesel World magazine. You know, it has 488 gears in it. They're Yukon gears, and you know, it's got a bigger turbo on it. It puts out 900 foot-pounds of torque. It puts out 500 horsepower, and And whenever it runs, it sounds just really, really good, you know. It sounds better than my 01 Duramax that I have that's basically stock. So anyway, and the more you look, the more you see LEDs throughout. It's got rock lights all under it. You know, you can, let me see if you can see these rock lights right here. You know, that's, and I mean, they are under, I don't know how many rock lights it's got under it, but whenever you, when you light it up at night, it really, it's pretty impressive, you know, on what it looks like, you know. So let's go, let me get in here and I'll fire it up. Sorry if I'm boring you, you know, some of my stuff that I have in here. Look at this seat, you know, you just don't see these seats in that good a condition on these older trucks like this. Let's see here. It runs like that after putting that air dog pump. That was the reason why, I don't know if I had mentioned it earlier, and if I did, I apologize, but this truck was in op and Copart sale in Waco because once I got it here, I immediately knew what it was. I could see fuel lines hanging down underneath it. And what the problem was this truck was, the previous owner also took the Air Dog 165 lift pump out from underneath it and didn't hook anything up under it, so the truck would not pump any fuel to the engine. So I spent $699 to Air Dog and put another fuel pump under it, or lift pump, and primed it, and heck, it fired right up. It runs just like it does today. So I'm kind of glad they actually that he did take the lift pump off of it, because I wouldn't have got it bought for $12,500 if it was a run and drive truck, you know. So, you know, I was able to spend a little money. I've got it running and driving now, and now it's just a matter of replacing that bedside and putting everything back together on it so it looks like it did back in its glory days. So once again, in closing, I would like to say that if anybody knows of any Showtime Metal Works bumpers that will fit a 07 to 14, early 14 Chevy Silverado HD truck for the front and rear, I need them both. And if they've got a Showtime Metal Works custom grill, they actually make the inserts, and then it's a factory grill shell is what they actually do. But I need one of those to put it back to where it looks like it did whenever before the accident or anything like that. So anyway, other than that, she's pretty well good to go. You know, I get the traction bars under it, and I get a nice set of 24-inch American Force wheels on it, and this truck will look a whole lot different. You know, once again, my personal truck, you know, most of the time I buy them, rebuild them, I flip them, and I go to the next one. But not so on this one. This one is going to be my personal driver, and I'm really excited to see how this build goes. So stay tuned and watch as we keep going, and we'll see how this truck gets put back together. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 2.